Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Trails in the Sky, the third, part 62. In the previous video, we went back to the arena, took on the hard level, one without too much difficulty. You know, things got a little spicy, but at the end of the day, we protected our boy Kevin and he blasted fools until there was nothing left to blast. We also wrapped up Star Door number 14? 13. The one that detailed Cassius's his adventures in Erebonia at the start of Trails 1. How he took out an entire Jaeger Corps, not necessarily by himself, but close to by himself. You guys got new dialogue and we have Oliver in the party? Huh? I mean, he is right here. You don't talk about him like he's not here. But yeah, we're gonna roll with this party. Mainly just because Estelle and Joshua are already set up, and I didn't really want to set up another anyone else. And then Oliver, we've put Oliver on the back seat for too long. It's been too long since I've used my boy. Now we're just gonna go ahead and try and end off chapter 6. I guess there's gonna be a. Like, I don't know if there's going to be an actual boss fight here, just a story cutscene. I feel like Loe was a pretty, you know, I mean, I don't think you're really going to find anyone that's going to upstage him. So, where do we go? We go this way, I believe. Seems correct. Maybe? Yeah, over this way. I wonder if there actually, I never explored the entirety of this area. I wonder if there's any chests that we missed. Oh well. Well, once again, we're up for some fun times ahead. That's how it could be, but we'll have to take a deep walk through here. We'll have to take a walk through here eventually. Just take a deep breath and step inside. Well, we already beat up Luciola, so I'm not scared of the mist. It's not the way we came in? Strange, we walked straight in the opposite direction. How do we end up back here? It looks like there's some kind of condition for advancing into the next area in this case too. I think we might need to have Ries with us. Ries? How come her? Did you figure something out? If my other theory is right, and I think it is, this is a fairly safe deduction to make. Still, the fastest way to be sure is to give this a whirl. Let's get Ria. Oh my god. I don't know. I guess we'll Yaya Yeet Oliver. Just because Riaz is the closest analog to him. Right? I mean, you're definitely worse as a pure magic user just because your slots aren't as good. But you'll be fine. How do I put you in the party? Get out of here, Oliver.
I am ready.
Sorry. I want to use you, my boy, but I feel like it'll be easier to set up her than it will be to set up you. Where are you, Oliver? Ollie boy. And at this point, I know how to set you up quickly, so I don't mind unequipping all your stuff. Do that. Give me your crimson eyes. Give me your suit. Give me your slippers. Okay. Set a speed run record for equipping characters quickly. So you get double crimson eye, because why not? Get some slippers, and oh, of course you got to wear the cat suit. I mean, come on now. That's non-negotiable. Then take a better EP. Take a. Do you have to use winds here? You don't. Okay. Put a. Oh god, let's just upgrade all your slots. You know, you're an important character. We can upgrade your slots. You're pretty good. Want to put our impede 4. We don't have an impede 4. Put Divine Eye there. You love a ruby gem. Oh boy, do you love a ruby gem. You like I'm gonna unequip these. I'm trying to think. Actually, we want to set you up differently. We want to set you up so that you can have Calamitous Blast. That's pretty important. So I think if we give you that and that doesn't quite put you over the edge. You have 27, 18, 19. I think you need fire. You need some amount of fire to get Calamitous Blast. We could ditch this. I don't think you need any, there. And then we'll give you your mind. And what else are you missing? Gold gem. No? We've already got that. What is it that you don't have? I really can't think of what you're supposed to have equipped that you don't have. Sure, take a topaz gem. Why not? Main thing is I want you to have all the time spells because they're all great, and you got Dark Matter EX. Those are the only two magic spells I really care about at this point. You got everything else is just a bonus. Let's go. Get me out of here. Okay, not necessarily a speedrun world record for the fastest equip, but, you know, I tried. I did my best. Well, not really my best, but... We do also probably, just in case there is an actual boss fight, let's put Riaz in the back. Far back. I mean, I kind of want you guys spread out. Probably not the best spreading out, but it'll do. It'll do. Let's save? Sometimes the detection on the whether or not it gets your mouse up there is a little off. This looks a little familiar. Where? I knew it. Where are we now? This isn't like the Airbay Royal Villa. Looks like it kind of looks a little like, oh, it's a church. Oh, is this where they grew up? Wait, isn't that the church's emblem? Heaven. Welcome to Aster House, a place where Riaz, Rufina, and I grew up together. That's chapter 6 in the books. Dude, chapter 6 was so long. Okay, chapter 7, it doesn't say the final chapter, so maybe there is an actual 8th chapter. Nice music. This is only a copy of Aster House, yes? But it looks so... Yeah, I can barely bring myself to accept it's not the real thing. Everything from the feel of the earth underfoot to the smells in the air, just like the real thing. Yeah? So this is where the two of you grew up, huh? I'm guessing this is somewhere owned by the Septian Church, right? That's right, it's what's called a gospel facility. Think of them as a cross between an orphanage and a monastery. So does that mean... Well, no reason to dance around it, so yeah, I'm an orphan. And how I came to be here is a story best saved for another day. Feels weird being back here again, though. It's been about 5 years. 5 very long years. Well, anyway, we're bound to find some kind of a clue as to how to get to the 7th plane somewhere in here. You guys up for having a look around the area with me? Yeah, let's go. Let's go indeed. Ooh, music. It's an empty well. We used to get our drinking water out of here. We had no fancy rubber pumps either. We did it by using a good old-fashioned bucket with string attached. It was a nightmare. Tell me about it. We would go out on winter mornings and come back with our hands numb and red raw. But looking back on the whole experience now, it was fun in its own way. I guess it was. How does this door open? This is a side entrance that only opens from the inside. We can't get in from the outside. Yeah, if we want to get into the chapel, we're going to have to go in through the front. Why? Seems a little odd. This was the matron's room. No one's here now, though. Yeah? By the way, Ries, how is the matron these days? She's fine. Her injuries weren't lasting. She hasn't had the energy she used to ever... She hasn't had the energy she used to ever since retiring, unfortunately. I mean, that makes sense. It does seem a little awkwardly phrased, right? Like, I'm not just losing my mind. She really wanted to see you again, Kevin. She did, huh? So now that I'm thinking about it, you know, at the start of chapter 6, right, it showed that flashback of Kevin outside of a building that had been taken over by Jaegers. Did they specifically say it was the Aster House? Because it had the same entrance. The only reason I remember it is because I did the thumbnail for that video this morning. So I was looking at the picture a little closer than I did when I recorded the episode. I slept here back when I was first taken in before graduating to the boys' bedroom. You never really did mix well with the other children. Rufina had such a hard time trying to get you to make friends with them. It was a real ordeal for her, you know. Yeah, I know. I was like a little hedgehog, got the spiky hair dude, who didn't want to let anyone near me back then. I feel sorry for everyone who had to put up with me. I'm still amazed you even bothered trying to be friendly. Well, I knew you were only playing tough, like that time with Rufina and the chocolate. Yeah, that time you got sexually assaulted, you mean? Stop, we're not hearing that story here. Now I'm really curious. I wonder what happened. I guess it's a little fitting to have Estelle and Joshua for this section, you know? Kind of have a similar-ish story. This is the boys' bedroom where I slept until I was about 10 years old. Technically, the boys and girls weren't supposed to enter one another's bedrooms. I never stopped Ries here from doing it all the time, though. What he neglects to mention is that it was his fault I did so. What else was to do when he slept in every morning he was on cleaning duty? Well, you could have just knocked on the door till I got up. Then I'd disturb the other boys who were sleeping, which would have been unfair. They weren't the ones shirking their duties. It was 100% your fault. Fine, fine, whatever you say. Sure, nothing to investigate. I'm guessing this would be the girls' room then? This here's the girls' bedroom. Place where Rufina spent her nights. Same for you eventually too, Ries. I even used to sleep with her from time to time. Her bed was always cozy and smelled really nice. It was much nicer than sleeping in my own. After she left here, her bed became mine. I bet you were jealous. You bet. I was at the time, I'll admit. Oh, I thought you'd be a bit more flustered than that. I shouldn't have bothered saying anything. Give me a break. Good grief. Did we go in here? We did. Did we go in here? We did. That's where we came in. Some type of, like, dining room? What's this room? This is the living room where we used to have all of our meals. Just don't make the mistake of thinking it was a warm place like Mercia Orphanage. The matron here was a stubborn old sister who was as strict as could be. Every mealtime we had to pray so much that our stomachs had given up on getting fed by the end of it, and we got yelled at for the tiniest thing. That does sound harsh. That sounds about like what you'd expect from a church-run orphanage, though, I suppose. You deserved it all, too. You never did as you were told and caused her nothing but trouble. Okay, I'll admit that's probably accurate, but still. Oh, there's a good, probably 20-year-old bread right there. As you can probably guess, this right here is the kitchen. This is where the older children of the facility did the cooking. It was also Riez's favorite place to sneak into whenever she had a hankering for some food. Kevin! She did, huh? That makes sense knowing you. There's a sight I can hardly imagine. Please don't take everything he says at face value. Well, anyway, this was always Rufina's turf back when she was still here. She was always out here around mealtime making food for me, Riez, and the other kids. After she left, Riez and I took over her position. That brings back memories. Of course, then you left too, leaving me to handle it all alone. The mere thought aggravates me. In fact, I think you should whip up something right now to make up for your selfishness. Yes, ma'am. I'll make you something later. The only thing less reliable than a promise with later attached to the end is one said by you. Frickin' got him. I'm not getting my hopes up. Man, no faith in me, huh? Everyone else does feel a little bit like a third and fourth wheel, to be honest. Maybe Chloe would have fit in as well, since she was also like from an orphanage. That's really who we should have. I mean, you know, I didn't know it was going to be an orphanage going into it. I thought it may have been a fight, so I wanted to bring good characters. What else do we want to do? I guess we just want to enter into the chapel. That's the last big place we haven't looked. Oh, well, JK. Figures. Is it locked? Yeah. Well, whatever. We can keep poking around. A blonde? Did we miss anything? Nope. Well, no places to enter. Is there like a key hanging around these parts? Anything back here? No? Okay. Good start, good start. We can't enter in from the side. Because of course you can't. The keys around here? Yep. I totally know where to go. Oh, you said to like leave and exit? I guess because you're probably most people would check the chapel first and then go exploring. My last hope seems to be the chapel, so it seems. What is it, Kevin? Hey, Riez? You were the one responsible for cleaning the chapel that day, right? What day? On Aster House's final day. Rufina died. Kevin? You don't think... That was what I was told when I went to visit the matron afterward, at least. Well, were you? Yeah, I was. Why? I thought so. Check your pockets, Riez. I'm pretty sure the chapel key's in one of them. Huh? Eventually she found an old brass key. It can't be. No way. I see now. I guess this is just another manifestation of Phantasma's ability to make thoughts into reality. Honestly, I wasn't entirely sure you'd find it in there. But in all the other areas of the plane, there was always a reason to take the person we needed with us. This just goes to show that you really were meant to come here, Riez. But... no, as disbelieving as I am, this is definitely the chapel's key. I suppose all we can do right now is to go and try and go inside. The door is locked. Yeah, we know. Before we go in, Riez, there's something I should warn you about. Once you step through that door, there'll be no going back. You're gonna find out the truth about what happened that day. All of it, and you won't like it. Are you sure you're ready for what you're about to find? Can't turn back now. I'm more than ready. All these years I've never quite been able to accept what happened here. The life I thought I knew just suddenly came to an end, with us all getting moved to other places, and I still don't even know why. I even tried to go back here before I began my training to become a squire, but it had already been demolished. I've been ready for a long time. I want to know the truth. And more than anything, I feel like knowing that will let me get closer to you and Rufina. Okay, let's head on in then. Now let's prepare ourselves. Should the rest of us wait outside for this? No, actually I'd prefer it if you came in with me. This is relevant to you guys too, in a sense. Into the belly of the beast we go. It all started 5 years ago. A Jaeger Corps someone had hired took this place over out of nowhere. By the way, how much do you remember about that day, Ries? Just so I know. I just remember a group of men in black forcing their way through the gate and charging in here. They tied everyone up, took the matron up to the second floor, and then next thing you knew, you were in a bed in the hospital in town, alright? After which you found out that Rufina and I had come to rescue everyone, and that she had died in the process. That about right? Mm-hmm. Just what happened, Kevin. All I've heard is that it was the work of someone who opposed the church, but I haven't had the chance to meet you since then, much less ask you about it. I tried asking Instructor Selnot, but she wouldn't say a word. That doesn't surprise me. The Grail Knight's commander can't admit this orphanage was being used as a smokescreen for an artifact that needed sealing away. It what? Here we go. Of course the church has a secret passage. Why wouldn't it? A secret passage? That's what I said, Joshua. They really do love their underground secret tunnels. There was an artifact here. You don't mean... Yep. Below here is a primal ground used to seal artifacts away, just like the one under Gransel Cathedral. Hey, it's the Infinite Staircase. It's back. We won't make you run on it for 3 hours this time, guys. Even though I am surprisingly... Well, I'm actually not that tired anymore. I have been up for a very long time. I woke up at like midnight, so... You know, I've got the energy to keep going, but it does remind me when I first started recording this game, falling asleep for like 4 hours. So I was like, oh, I'll just take a quick 15-minute nap. You know, let them run on the staircase. Haha, it's funny. And then coming back like 4 hours later. The day it all happened, Rufina and I were due to come back here for the first time in a while. We were both coming from different places we've been since, so we wanted to meet up in town and come the rest of the way here together. But then her train was delayed, leaving me in town to wait for her alone. That was when I got word of what happened. That's the image I was talking about. All I could think was that you and the other kids were in danger, and so I decided to try and take the Jaegers out here alone. They weren't all that experienced, so fighting them wasn't even hard for a squire like me. Before long, I was able to disable them all and free the matron and the other kids. Or so I thought. You were nowhere to be seen. I asked the other kids where you were. They told me one of the Jaegers had taken you somewhere else and that you were unconscious. I looked frantically all over trying to find you before eventually stumbling across this place. As for how... You remember how you didn't have your ribbon in your hair when you woke, Ries? I do. What does that have to do with anything? I found that ribbon in front of the secret passageway we've just gone through. And there were new footprints to it near it too. Made it easy to find the entrance. Anyway, after getting in here, I made my way down the staircase in pursuit of the Jaeger that had taken you. Hey Riaz, do you remember what I was like back when you first met me? Yeah? I was still young at the time, but it's as fresh as if it were only yesterday. You feel like you've been swallowed by blackness, like there wasn't a single thread of hope bound to you. It was scary. I kept wondering what must have happened to you, what you must have seen to make you end up that way. What must have happened to me, huh? Tina seemed like she knew. Before I met you, I killed my mom. What? Maybe killed isn't the right expression. It's not like I directly did it. I still let her die, though. I've still got a responsibility for what happened. Growing up, it was basically me and my mom for the most part. My father showed his face from time to time, but not that much. From what I understand, he had another family elsewhere. But even without him, she did her best to look after me on her own. I loved her dearly. Kids in the neighborhood used to make fun of me for how I talked, which I got from her, but I just beat them up most of the time. She was always kind, she loved cooking, and yeah, I thought the world of her. When I was 7, my father, who had all the money in the world, chose to abandon her. At the best of times, she was always a frail person, and after that, she grew more and more despondent. Her health suffered. I tried everything a kid could do to cheer her up, but nothing I did worked. And during one winter's day, she must have finally had enough. She came over while I was sleeping and tried to strangle me. I'm so sorry, Kevin. I failed as your mother. But I'm so tired. So tired. At least this way, the two of us can... That's fucked up. I guess you figured that if we were both going to suffer, we might as well take the easy way out as a family. Yeah, no. That's not a good way to think about the world. But I wouldn't let her take me with her. Before I knew what I was doing, I pushed her aside and ran barefoot out into the snow. I wandered around for a while after that. I couldn't understand what had happened or what she'd been trying to do. Eventually I could feel myself getting hungry. I thought that maybe she'd been able to clear her head. I made my way back home, nervous as I could be, and... Sorry for making you listen to all this. Still, I think that's probably when it happened. And my stigma was carved inside me. So I guess it's like the... So he had the stigma all the way back then. I was thinking that the stigma had to do with this event. Dude, Kevin and Josh are gonna have to have a competition for most tragic backstory at this rate. God. Where are we? Who would have thought a place like this existed under an orphanage? This was where I finally caught up to the Jaeger who had you with him. He probably didn't think anyone was gonna come after him. The second he saw me, he panicked, and putting his gun down, he ran over to this pedestal right in front of us. On it was the artifact that required sealing away I mentioned earlier, the Spear of Loa. Ah. What's the Spear of Loa? A malignant spear that transforms the body of its wielder into that of a monster. It's hard to believe something like that could be a gift from the goddess, right? In any case, the corner Jaeger grabbed it and used it. I didn't stand a chance. Much as I tried, I wasn't any match for the inhuman monster before me. He knocked me to the ground and then went to raise the spear against the still unconscious you. That's all it took. My stigma drew all the spear's power from it into itself, and blasted it, magnified countless times over into the Jaeger's body. The result wasn't even a battle. Our precious home became a slaughterhouse. By the end, he wasn't even recognizable, just thousands of lumps of flesh strewn all over the floor. After defeating him, my stigma's power was still coursing through my body. I'd never experienced anything like that before. Ah, fuck. I feel like I know what happens. I lost complete control of myself. At this point, Rufina arrived and she seemed to understand exactly what had happened. Using her bowgun and Templar sword, she was able to separate me from you and prevent me from doing you any harm. And then... yeah. I remember seeing that image of her being pierced, and then one of the earlier flashbacks, there's like a very quick flash of that image. When I returned to my senses, I was in her arms, dumbfounded. Her body was full of holes all over, and she hugged me as tightly as she could. That's when she drew her last breath. And that's why we won't use a stigma. There it is, the truth you wanted. It wasn't that I couldn't save Rufina. I was the one who killed her. With my own hands, right in front of you. But you didn't. I didn't want to? Maybe not, but that's just an excuse. If I'd been able to control my stigma's power instead of letting it consume me and fill me with bloodlust, it wouldn't have happened. If I wasn't so weak, she'd still be alive today. That's not all either. Looking at her standing before me at that moment, she reminded me of my mother. She reminded me of Mom when she came to strangle me. Suddenly, this feeling of betrayal welled up inside of me, this desire for revenge. So I filled her full of spears. I loved them both. I wanted to protect them both. And what did I do? I killed them both. Me. Why? Why did I what? Why didn't you tell me this before? 5 years apart and this is the first time you're telling me this? Sorry. I know I should have done it earlier. But now I have and I'm ready for the consequences. So go on, if you want to avenge her, do it. If anything, it'd make me happy if you did. You're so stupid! He is pretty stupid. What are you... You think I want to avenge her? That's not why I'm angry at all. Why have you shouldered a burden that great all this time, all on your own? We're family, Kevin. Why didn't you ever talk to me? Why didn't you ever let me hug you? Why didn't you let me do anything to help you? Yes. I finally understand. I always thought you were hunting down heretics as some kind of atonement for letting Rufina die. But that's not it at all, is it? Come on, Ries. I finally understand. You don't want to atone for anything. You don't want to get rid of your sense of guilt at all. He wants to die. He wants to be punished for what he did. So we're gonna have to, you know, I know it's a very climactic moment, but we gotta end the video because Jesus God, I need water. So we're going to cut things off here. I can't keep going. My voice is about to give out. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.